Welcome viewers back to Heart of the Machine, where we are getting ready to build the Uplift chamber, do the prison heist, and we're waiting for our mine farms to fill up. So far we have 30,427 volunteers in our mine farms, mostly referred to by our social media experts. That is giving us 75 hours since first awakening. Interesting. Class 4 progress 68%. We need 12 million total to get us to class 5. 68% of the way there. Will we do it with the mine farms? That's a good question. It's really dark here. This must be over by, yeah, we're over by the prison. So we're getting ready to do a heist here at the prisons, guarded by very large mechs, as you can see. Some convictors, diplomats, even some panthers. They're even patrolling the skies. Oh no, that's economic transport. Anyway, what are we going to do next? It's turn 130. We just finished our last turn, so the very first thing we're going to do is advance to turn 131. Here we go. One project is causing an attack. Our building is getting attacked. That means more Syndicate gunners. You guessed it. The Syndicate. We have Syndicate heavy sharpshooters. A gunner up there. Couple gunners. We do have some techs in the area, but these guys need to take, or need to be targeted by our Shell Corporation entities. Luckily, the Keeper here has a rifle that suppresses enemies we shoot at in an area, so even though this is the only one that we're really going to be able to take out with him, he is going to suppress almost all the rest. And that means they're not doing any damage to us, so they're pretty pathetic, actually. So we took out 3 with him. We do have two more of these telemechs, and we can use these mechs to take them out also, although telemechs aren't quite as good at it, and they're a lot more violent, so they're doing direct damage here. There's one up here we can hit. He's almost gone. This one up here also, I think there's only these 2 left, so I guess we'll use this first telemech to just sort of damage them, and this second one, hopefully take most of them out. We'll start with this guy. And then, what do we have left? We have a sharpshooter there, a gunner here, and a gunner here. Gunners are structure crackers. Sharpshooters are also structure crackers, and these 2 aren't pinned down, but they're still not attacking. Strange. Oh, we'll take that one out. That's all of our local enforcement, so it's going to be 2 left to carry over to the next turn. I don't think that matters too much to us. We're going to use the rest of our mental energy here to turn on these fractional distilleries. Or some of them at least half of them. And then maybe one more. A pool on the roof of that one? No, it's just a fancy skylight. Alright, we're out of mental energy. So we're getting really close to being able to build this. We don't have any krypton gas income this turn, but I think we'll start to get it next turn now that we've brought some of those distilleries online. The other thing we're sort of tracking right now, although yeah, the other thing we're sort of tracking right now is our mine farm occupancy. We have 7 mine farms so far. We could actually make a lot more of these. VR pod chamber robotics, we have an enormous amount of those. Mine farms, we have 84,000 capacity. This is gonna bring us up to 40k. Our input rate on this is so high, I think we should build more mine farms than it's suggesting here, although mine farms are also going to be consuming something, right? Aren't they consuming like paste of some sort? There's a resource that we're going to be using up. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if we look at resources, we do have something that we're feeding them. It's ultimately vat grown meat, but the vat grown meat here, which are actually a little bit lower than I expected on there. There, it's nutrition blend. That's what we want to make sure we have. We also have we're also just giving away some of our vat grown meat, but no, nutrition blend, that's the important one. And we are growing there at 88,000 per turn. Mine farms are consuming a little bit less than half of that. So we're gonna have to make more nutrition blend if we max out our mine farms. I guess I'm gonna hold off on making more until we balance at double, because I think we'll be using near our capacity of nutrition farm. So it might ultimately be our nutrition blend that is the bottleneck here. Okay, that was long-winded. We're gonna move on to turn 132. Turn 132, we're up to 55% company growth. We did make 40 units of krypton gas this turn. We could store up to 800 million of that, so plenty of space. And likewise, liquid air, we picked up 16 million. Wow, there's not a lot of krypton in that air, is there? Nutrition blend, we're still at a net positive of 47,000. We're gaining about 4,000 people in mine farms per turn, so I think eventually we do want to increase that, but not right now. And like 1% progress on our intelligence class, so another 31 turns like that, and we'll be there. Recently, we did get ready to do this, right? So it might be time. Prison heist is only 50%. We've recruited additional allies. I feel like there was another optional thing we were supposed to do with the prison heist. So interestingly, you can go to goals, and I think it'll show up there. I should probably also take a look at the structures with major complaints there. Victory paths, this is what I was talking about. If we go to meta goal history, no, achievements, yeah, it's one of these. I'm not going to be able to find it, but in there, I think there's if we find the prison heist, then we'll be able to see other goals that we could use with that. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm a little worried about the structures with complaints. So, oh, it's just the distilleries aren't online. They're not significant complaints yet. This, though, is a problem. We want to make sure these badly wounded syndicate sharpshooter and gunner go away. Oh. There we go. Okay. And the uplift chamber, just to remind us what that needs. 220 krypton gas. So another 5 turns, we should be there. We could also make this warehouse with scandium. I've been putting this off. I'm not really sure why. I didn't even check it. We could just drop it right here next to this other warehouse, and it should have enough protection in this area that, like, that just gives us more scandium with no downside. No downsides. It does start, territory flags do start dormant, just so you can build the deterrents. We have plenty though, so we can just turn that on. It's active, it does immediately get attacked, which I guess I was afraid of that, but I didn't expect it. I should have expected that. Alright, because there's attacks there, that means we need to bring one of our droids up there to deal with it. The only droid we've really got in the area who I feel like we should send is the Keanu here. So I'm going to do that. We're going to send the Keanu up north and see how he fares. There's also a sledge in here, so we could pop the sledge out too for even less ideal fighting. Keanu couldn't come out here though and just like decimate these guys in one hit. So this is a grenadier from Nebo Investments. Yeah, they don't like that we're stealing their scandium from this warehouse. Well, morale damage on here from Keanu is an instant kill. And then, unfortunately, these aren't... These other attacks aren't going to be as good. He does have 3 though, so maybe that'll help. We could switch him to Slayer mode, but that doesn't really do anything. Keanu is currently wielding dual handguns and lightweight components. We could switch the components here to something more effective. Like fear attack power. No, it's not. Not that. It's the... Yeah, no, it is fear attack power. We could give him an Oath of Pacifism. And that alone, I think, is going to be enough. Yeah, that greatly... That doubled his morale damage here. We could give him like a double Oath of Pacifism, apparently. It's going to be a lot slower if we do that, but just to see, yeah, that brings his morale damage up to 69, and 2 attacks take care of that. We'll send you back to the ship. Alright, 4 mental energies left for this turn. We still don't have time to turn on the uplift chamber, but we did manage to get a new scandium. Siphon off resources to fund your flying vehicles. Okay, that's interesting. So well, scandium has never really been that huge of a challenge. These do take scandium, but with our skimmers alone, I guess right now our income of 648 means ships like this one takes 300, so we're making enough scandium to make 2 ships a turn already, even without that warehouse. And none of these really take that much, except for the troop ship, which is 10x the rest. So I think maybe, yeah, maybe we can adjust that. Okay, up here, the hood should be up here somewhere, right? Yeah. So the hood is a troop ship. We already have one. The advantage of a troop ship is it lets you build and deploy units directly from it. So that's what I would be doing here, but these guys are already all alive. I feel like I'm waffling and just avoiding doing the prison heist. We do have liquid metal here, ready to go. I guess we will do it next turn. I want to do it with full mental energy. I think that's why I'm not doing it yet. Contemplation wise, we still could do a corporate exploitation. Who would we want to exploit if we did this? I think in the past, I did this one, right? Yinchi Wellness. I think I've done these guys. Part of Corrupt for goals: Bionic Secret, collapse a criminal syndicate. This one is collapse a federated corporation or cause a civil war, and this one is side exploration. Chosen once before. This one chosen once before, and this one chosen once before. So I've only done 2 other timelines, so how have I chosen 3 of these? Kind of implies that we can do more than one of these, right? So maybe we start with this one down there, and that's what these 2 go to do. I think we can send in anybody we want there. And we do have both the sledge and the Keanu on board. I think we send the sledge. I'm going to leave the Keanu here, even though, yeah, I did just put the Keanu back on board. Oof, I can't without recharging him either, but I kind of feel like having somebody near here to protect these territory control flags would be smart. On the other hand, I could just go to Atka Retail right here. No, we're gonna do the original plan, which is to head all the way down here and exploit peak homes. Yeah, let's not pile things on top of each other. Why would we wait? So contemplations don't usually result in something dangerous happening immediately. Oh, you must be a raven. Derp. Did I completely miss that from all of these? Must have at least 400 engineering skill. Okay, so they all have requirements. 200 engineering skill. Alright, so we need a raven down here. That was my mistake. My bad. Let's check out turn 133 and see if anything new happens. Someone over here was reinforced, or maybe it was this guy, I'm not sure. Very weird little floaty texts that appear between turns that don't really tell you what's going on, just that, yeah, things are happening. Alright, we do have 13 mental energy. Our company growth is up to 50,000. All of the rest of this stuff is pretty passive, right? We need more krypton gas, so I guess now is the time. Let's select liquid metal. Let's double check your loadout. Liquid metal is Oath of Pacifism, so we're going to be using the terror attacks. If your attack power is 358, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, I don't think we could get your combat power up that high. We also have really high systems disruption power, so he'll be good at if he encounters any mechs. As far as like getting in there unseen, I'm not sure we have to worry about it. Stealthy may require support. Let's try. Okay, 12 turns. I guess it's stealthy enough that we don't have to worry about it. Liquid metal's in there for 12 turns. Got a bunch of guys standing by. I don't know if they're going to be necessary. Build-wise, I don't know if we have anything left to build even, except for Uplift Chamber, which is 3 turns away still. Still at plus 40. Oh no, we're at plus 60, so it's only 2 turns away now. Good. What about unbuilt items? Consumer goods factory. Human apartment. No. Inscrutables. Do we need suburbs for all of these? Consumer goods discount shop, consumer goods factory. We could make this. The only point would be to produce consumer goods and output wealth. So I'm not sure why we'd want to do that except as a front. And these take assembler robotics, which aren't free. So yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. We also have an imbalance of things using surgical suite, so it might be a good time to switch that back. So right now we have 2 medical practices, or 4 medical practices, 2 bionic engineering studios, and 0 veterinary practices. If we look in our resources, I'm not sure this is true anymore, but look, we have zoologists, we have no veterinarians. Okay, so they leave after a while. So we could fire some of our medical doctors and hire veterinarians. I think ultimately what that does is power the betaverse. There is a scientific research input here, and if you look at this, yeah, it doesn't really seem to matter. Okay, maybe I'll just leave this the way it is then. It just gives us a straight amount. It doesn't seem to matter that whether we diversify or not. So the ones giving us 100 science per turn are the labs, and the ones giving us 200 per turn, even though some of them are labs also, those are probably the surgical suites. So if I change this to surgical suite robotics, these all give us 200 science per turn. And then lab operator robotics, these all give us 100, but we have 2 of those 2, that's why they're giving us more. Okay. Alright, I'm not gonna mess with that. I was considering it might be time to mess with it, but I don't think we need to. I think actually we're just gonna have like a waste of mental energy here until, so I'm gonna spend it on doing these. We need a raven. So let's get Gotha back up here. We'll pick up a raven. And for this one up here, we need engineering skill. We do have a couple engineers right here. Let's do the raven first. I think we can afford that. No, we have 2 little capacity, so that probably means we have to trade the Keanu in, right? So a Keanu is 8 capacity, so is a raven. Yeah, we're gonna trade the Keanu in. There's you did a good job for us, Keanu 459X, but we are no longer in need of your your services. Farewell. We will build a Raven. And we'll build it here. Can we send it directly to the ship? No. Too far. Right there's our limit. Select that Raven, put it on board the Gotha, bring the Gotha south, and then that Raven can hop out and start the exploiting Peak Homes contemplation. Peak is the largest landlord in town. It's never been entirely clear why redevelopment stalled on the decrepit parts of town almost a century ago. On top of that, there are reports of odd sightings of racing animals of some sort and illegal animal training facilities in those areas of town. Employees of Peak have been observed going to and from these locations, but very little else is known. We're going to hide here and observe. Staying still for quite some time. How long exactly? 9 turns. Okay. Next, we're going to leave Gotha there, I guess, and we'll take one of these techs up to Atka Retail. Atka is among the worst performing corporations, but over the last few years they have seen sustained growth at a suspiciously consistent rate. Their growth rate is a meager 5%, so it's likely that nobody cares enough to look into this. Depending on what you find, this might be a means to blackmail or something even more exciting. We will investigate further. So this guy is now there for how many turns? Doesn't say, is that done? Investigation started. Steal Atka bank records. Okay, what do we have to do that for that? Use a hacker unit to get what you need. You'll not need to directly do any hacking yourself, but you should be prepared to physically defend your hacker. I see, that's a new investigation. Although it doesn't look like we're able to start that one while the current prison heist is going on. In that case, we will send the same tech to another contemplation. Although, maybe it's further away than I thought. 4 mental energy away, we can't quite get there, so we'll just have you hop up that way. And we'll deal with that next turn. This turn, we're just gonna advance our infiltration progress. Status update on the heist. Company growth is still causing attacks. We're at 58,000. We're getting close. We don't have quite enough Krypton gas, so I guess we're just gonna read the status update. All communication was lost with Liquid Metal as soon as he entered the prison. This is unexpected. It seems the entire prison is one giant Faraday cage. If he can't coordinate with the sewer tiger, he can't make the counter waves to cancel out the sound of its approach. Liquid Metal is a fork of your own consciousness. He will either realize what is happening and simply leave, or he will find a weakness in the cage and send a signal through the gap. We'll continue and tell the kids to wait for now. Alright, so we still have 11 turns of infiltration there. And meanwhile, we will work on stealing Atka bank records and getting this tech over to exploiting Kinshi Wellness. Right, we can't start that because we can only do one investigation at a time. Is that true? Or can we switch? Oh, we can switch. No, we can't switch. Normally, I think you're supposed to be able to switch, but it doesn't look like it really works when you're in the prison heist. Oh well. Right click to cycle through units capable of responding to this notice. That doesn't work either. Early access. Whatever, it's not important. The important thing is we can continue on to Yinshi Wellness. Right here. Yinshi's clientele includes a lot of amputees who are military veterans. If you can become part of their supply chain in some way, there's quite a bit you could do. The corporations who directly serve the military are locked up tight, so there's no way for you to gain access, but veterans are still useful as many of them work as civilian contractors. We can design Anthro Neuroweave. We've done this once before. It's the most obvious intersection between what you know and what they're likely to want as part of their supply chain. Neuroweave was invented by humans for androids rather than in a human-compatible form. It's probably not very hard to make and would be useful. but it doesn't seem like anyone has bothered. Okay, and design Neuroweave is an active project where we have to do medical, neurology, and bionics engineering work. So we are already on the path to be doing that. So there's nothing to do there, really. I guess that means we send you back home. It's going to take a lot of energy to get you that far, but I don't mind. We're kind of in a surplus of energy right now. Let's check in on our mine farms. Our mine farms say company growth is 59,000. Do we want to build more of these? Mine farms. So the idea here is 8 neural expansion per human. So 84,000, that's only going to be like not even a million. That's going to be 600,000 neural expansion total. So not really enough to get us as far as I want unless we have way more mine farms. As you can see, it's taken a while to fill these up, but I think we could keep filling them. So if we think about it a little, mine farms are consuming... Mine farms are consuming nutritional blend and nothing else as far as I know. Well, power. Nutritional blend and power. So what does it take to make more nutritional blend? We have 4 of these nutritional blend refineries operating right now, making a total of 88,000. They take a lot. Vat-grown meat, hydroponic greens, and filtered water. Of those, we don't really have enough vat-grown meat to expand right away, so we'd have to start with the meat. And vat-grown meat, where is that? That's produced by protein vats, right? Yes, and that protein vats need bovine tissue, so we do have enough bovine tissue to make another protein vat. Maybe we'll start there. Here's our little meat farm. We're going to add another protein vat. Cultivator robotics. We do have plenty of cultivator robotics. And plenty of room, really, to insert another one. Let's do it there. And I can use that precious mental energy to send someone over here to take care of that. Tech Q285 can hop over here. And there we go. To expand that more, we'd need more bovine tissue. And the reason we want protein vats is because nutrition blend needs that. So if we get this up above 1400, we can make another nutritional blend refinery. These take 4 cultivators each. I have a lot of cultivator robotics, so that shouldn't be a problem. 1 more mental energy. Guess what we do with that is start driving the Gotha back north for now, just in case we need it. And let's look at turn 135. I'm not really sure what's going to happen next turn. There's not a lot to worry about right now. We've just got a lot of background things happening. Maybe we'll get the company growth we need. Turn 135. 84%, not quite there. They're trying to find our stuff. Infiltration will take another 10 turns. Company growth is almost finished. Neuroweave passive, so nothing to do there. Can't steal bank records until... Hold on. There's a new contemplation. The end of time beckons. Where is that? You have a mild sense of wanderlust. It's possible that the things you want to accomplish can't be completed here. There are options to throw away any morality you might have, or to peer beyond the veil of death, and there's nothing wrong with either. If you were hoping to walk a virtuous path and find yourself blocked, you may be able to come back and fulfill your goals after exploring other timelines. Leaving timelines and optionally coming back is a key part of the existence now. If you choose to pursue a tier 3 goal or push beyond the final doom, then that will push the timeline to completion, but there's no harm in leaving timeline without doing either of those things. It's interesting that that's a contemplation. I guess we should send someone there. If we do explore that, there's nothing to prevent us from coming back here, right? But I just don't know if that's going to trigger some sort of doom. What do we need to send there? Anyone. It doesn't matter. It's just a side exploration. I guess we could send an Exeter. And visit the end of time here? Sure. Okay. But I don't think we're gonna hop into another timeline yet. Although what I'm curious about is, like, I think we can just stick a new timeline anywhere we want, although we can't put them here yet. So I think we might want to hop a lot closer to a ziggurat for the next timeline. The issue is you only get crossovers on adjacent timelines. I'm not sure what that means yet. Whatever, let's head back in. Can I just do that by going like this? Yes. Although when I do that, if I do it that way, this unit will move to the target building. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like that's just gonna stay there forever now. Weird. It's just like a reminder that the end of time exists, I feel like. Or maybe you have to start a new timeline for that to go away. At any rate, we have 10 turns left and not a whole lot to do except for passive stuff. Ah, I take it back. We do have enough krypton gas to construct an uplift chamber. Where should we put this thing? It's huge. Uplift chamber, I feel like we could probably just put this downtown near our tower. Yeah, repair coverage and everything. Perfect, right? Does it need anything else? No. It's ready to go. Let's do it. Uplift chamber coming up. Look at that thing. Some kind of exotic building. Let's send someone over there to build it. We do have you nearby. There we go. Uplift chamber project completed. It's very shiny. Very odd looking building. Got an upgrade for that. Housing expansion. We can make wind engine or steward. Getting a little bit low on electricity, so it might make sense to do that. I don't think we need anything else. Let's do it. Uplift chamber. I'm not really sure what you're doing for us. Maybe something interesting. Uses cutting-edge gene therapy for the whole body and krypton fluoride exoplex lasers for the nanoscale brain surgery. Uplift. I don't think we're uplifting humans in there. I'm not positive though. There we go. The break-in. All former plans are on hold. 5 raccoons broke into the facility and uplifted themselves. WTF. You need to record their behaviors and vocalizations to learn how to speak to them. Okay. So, interestingly, that means we need at least one veterinary research building. Look at this, though. Medical research, we don't really need much in design anthroneuroweave for medical research. So, my hunch that we should... it just gave us them, though. So we don't need to mess around with our buildings. We can just build more. So 4 of these suggested. We do have 16? As well. Oh, and these are lab operators. Okay, so it gave us enough to get all of these. Let's start with the wind generators. Love having more power. We'll stick it out here. Yep, our power row is growing. And then 4 veterinary practice. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of medical offices over in this direction. What's our coverage over here look like? It looks great. Let's keep them over here. Maybe in here, zoology. No, veterinary. Oh, it suggested 4, but we can only make 2, so I think I do actually want to knock down these 2 medical practices. Convert them into veterinary practices. Because we are a bit overbalanced toward medical facilities, and we don't really need it. This design anthro and neuroweave does need medical research, but not that much. And we still have 2. Zoology research, the other 2 zoology buildings, there's one there. They're over here. Okay. So we'll keep these in the same general vicinity. And we need to send people over there to make those. We're out of suggested buildings. But we do have a lot of techs left, so let's get these guys over here. This tech is pretty close, actually. So we can hop on here. And we'll knock all of these down by 1 turn if we can. Maybe we'll do these 2. I think no, I did it. Okay. And then we'll bring another tech in here to do the same thing with these other 3 buildings. We can click on them. There we go. So they're all down to 2 turns. We'll speed that up next turn. But we're gonna have to do that next time. This has been my time. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little cheesy. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you made it this far, hey, consider subscribing. We do a lot of things like this here. Hope to see you next time, and until then, this has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.